Yeah. Well, I think that more and more people are starting to get into having these experiences now. You don't have to live in a remote ranch somewhere in Washington or Oregon to see phenomena. You can see it in your own house.
Absolutely.
I think that's really cool. That
absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually here and happening now. I think that's a great idea.
Right. We have a friend of ours in New Hampshire that we've been working with, and I think about 2 or 3 visits ago, she had C1 and C2 where she damaged it and hasn't been able to move in, was it 2 or 3 years, Fred? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had her toes moving and her right thumb moving. So there's no limit to what we can do with the projectors. There's no limit to what we can do with our minds.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and so I think we're on our way to creating a tremendous amount of healing all around the world. It doesn't make any difference if I'm here or another person is Jupiter. It doesn't make any difference. The energy is instantaneously passed through.
If anybody wants to send us a live chat, just go to the live chat on the index page of BBS Radio. I don't see as much activity there tonight as I do some nights. It's a BBS Fast Chat right below the windows where the pictures of myself and the other person that's having a show on a different network. I guess we're running 2 shows now. I guess we got a late night network that we have now too, which is interesting. I guess pretty soon BBS Radio is going to be everywhere, Steve. You know, you just turn on your TV and you're going to be watching bbsradio.com.
I think it's wonderful, Fred.
Yeah.
I think that the program is so important to let people know that there is alternative ways to living and there is alternative ways of using your mind. That's so important. Whatever I can do, there's people out there who can do it a lot better than I can. And I truly believe that there's people out there that can do it just as well, if not better than I. And I think that we're basically, that every person on this planet has the ability to heal.
Okay.
I really believe that.
The question that came on just now, how does the use of orgone assist in Pyradyne products? I'm going to answer this question here really quickly. Okay, first of all, most people don't know what orgone even is. Orgone is the ability to amplify psi energy, PSI energy, through different physical mediums, okay? The easiest way to describe orgone in the scientific community was the transistor. The transistor was developed between a N and P junctions, whereas there would be a bias put on a silica substrate of a positive charge, and another substrate slightly different next to it would have a negative, and the electrons would cross that barrier. Okay. Wilhelm Reich originally developed a wool and cotton blanket back in the 40s, and this wool and cotton blanket, in other words, a layer of wool, cotton, and then a layer of steel wool. He actually used steel wool and then cotton and wool. He created a chi amplifying effect, which had a tendency to get rid of arthritis. So these were the earlier methods where people were learning about the orgone effect. In our products, including the projector that we're talking about, we use a plating process called active and passive substrate layering, meaning that we use metals like nickel in an electroplating substance, metals like copper, which is nickel is inert, copper is active. Then we'll use another inert metal, and then we'll use another thing like gold. And we have learned over the 30-year period or 31-year period that we're in business that the amount of time in a plating tank is very critical for each piece. It's a science, and we didn't come up with these formulas of how much this metal and how much that metal. And that means physically taking the product out of a tank, cleaning it, and then physically putting it in another tank and turning on a fixed voltage for a certain period of time within a half a second, and then taking it out of there and putting it in another tank. So a lot of our products are plated by aerospace companies. Power domes, for example, are done by aerospace companies. So every product that we make has some kind of an orgone effect to it. If we're using solid materials like platinum and gold, then we don't have any plating involved, but the action of platinum and gold itself in the geometric forms that we use it in produces the orgone effect. Okay? That might be interesting for you too. The guy asked the question, and now here's one you can answer.
Sure.
Steve, this is from D. Dr. Bell, what would you advise a newcomer to purchase and use first? Now, you, Steve, what do you think that people should start with in our product line?
I think that they should really start with a nuclear receptor. I know when I got mine about 8-9 years ago, it was so potent and so wonderful to use. I know I had mine on for about 3 or 4 days, and my wife and I were in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and I saw a lot of black coming out of my back. And I called you right away, and I said, Fred, I have black coming out of my back. Can you please tell me what that is? And you were tuning into me and said, well, that's all the X-rays. The X-rays that you had all your life are starting to come out of your body.
Yeah, now,
Now,
let me explain why that is real quick, okay?
Sure.
Can I just jump in here for a second? It appears when we do a remote viewing on someone and we see something, we're looking for color or absence of color. The first thing a remote viewer does is to prepare a black canvas in their head. Nothing, no light, nothing. And then they proceed to go on stimulation, whether it's country, winter, time of year, time of day, and these colors and visions come. When we look at someone who we already know has a aura field coming out of their body, starting from the base of the spine and going up to the head or vice versa, and we see an area of blackness, that means that there is a short circuit, an absence of light. The only thing that can create an absence of light is gamma radiation. And gamma radiation is what is produced by X-rays, and it produces what's called a free radical in the body. And for a period of time after a person is X-rayed, I might add, this black hole remains. Now, just check this out. TSA, who we always slam on Hot Rod to Hell, and I'm getting ready to put pictures up on BBS Radio how they destroy our products. So we got more than one picture to show now. And TSA is the people that run the airline. You know, the frequency checks. You know, the patting your body on. Well, they're going to be X-raying everybody now. Gets to get X-rayed to get on a plane. And there are some issues right now because of the private parts on male and female body. The female body and male body will be observed. Now, they have the observer in a different room, but starting this summer, when you go on an airplane, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be X-rayed. Hopefully, you'll have a receptor on. And the funny thing about it is that every time when we used to do trade shows, that we would carry nuclear receptors in a box, hand luggage. We never trusted them in the luggage. We can carry them. We put them through the machine. They've always been X-raying your purse or your shoes or whatever you stick through there. And they, of course, would X-ray the box or the package that we would be carrying the nuclear receptors in. And, of course, the nuclear receptors would neutralize the radiation, put out a weird image. So every single time when we would have 20 or 30 receptors in a little hand carry-on briefcase satchel, we'd have to be pulled aside and we'd have to open it up and show them what they were. And then we would explain to them that this neutralizes their X-ray. And then they would understand. So, I mean, we're talking nuclear receptor here. These things are pretty powerful, but they already have. But you know what? Look what's going to happen to the consciousness now of people, everybody getting on an X-ray. This is why I don't travel anymore, because I'm only doing private jet now, and if I can't do that, I won't go anywhere, because I don't need to be X-rayed. I'm not afraid of them. It's proving a point. You know, if they want to bring the aviation business to a standstill, they're definitely working on it now. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't need to be X-rayed every 5 minutes to get on a plane.
Yeah. And have you seen the machines they're putting out now?
No, I haven't seen them, but I've been X-rayed going.
You're going to have them right in your backyard by the end of the summer. Everybody's going to have them.
I've been X-rayed just going into a federal building.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pass your merchandise through. You got to take things off. And you know you're being X-rayed. I mean, you walk through these booths and you're being X-rayed.